Okay, clock on the wall says 7 a.m. That means it's time to start the live version of Longshore McKnight on this Tuesday. And by the looks of it, both in our studios, ready to go. I think Barry's hitting the road here, maybe later this afternoon. What's the story?
That is true. This afternoon after lunch, hopping on another basketball bus. Got to spend 3 nights at home.
Wow.
And we're headed Monroe, Louisiana for men's basketball. I've probably asked you this because in our long association, you have made the observation that I seem to be in Monroe, Louisiana a lot.
Have you
ever had that adventure? Monroe, Louisiana, on the banks of the Ouachita River.
Does landing at the airport count?
Yeah.
Okay.
You've landed at the Monroe airport?
Yes, I have a couple of times, believe it or not, back in the day when what they call the mainline version of Delta Airlines, which of course is the bigger planes, and it's not the Delta Connection version that comes into smaller communities like Montgomery, which is perfect, which is great. They do an excellent job. But back in the days when the mainline Delta was still flying into Montgomery, they had a flight from Montgomery to Dallas, but it stopped in Monroe on the way. Picked up some people in Monroe before it went on to Dallas, and took that flight many a time, and we landed there at the Monroe Airport, which of course was is the home of Delta Airlines. That's where it began as a crop dusting business. And for
whoa, the heck, whoa.
Yes.
I'm learning something from this guy all the time. Goodness knows I must have had 20 texts yesterday, either telling me, Barry, this is why they call him Autopen, and or number 2, man, I can't believe you didn't know that was the conservatives' nickname for Joe Biden.
If you looked up the picture, you got to look at the picture.
Did.
Yeah,
I did. Well, I didn't look it up. Somebody gave it to me. I'm not asking around. But now you're telling me that Delta Airlines started in.
Yep.
I've been to Monroe 60 times, 70 times. And I've been in that airport before. There's no way.
Yeah.
That Delta Airlines. Are you sure you're not talking about Delta?
No. Have a big chapter in Tuscaloosa, but no, that's Delta Airlines started there as a crop dusting business. They later went on and merged with a airline called Chicago and Southern. So Delta and Chicago and Southern came together to form a bigger operation, and they started carrying passengers, and they dropped the Chicago and Southern and kept the Delta. As a matter of fact, very well into the 90s, maybe into the 2000s, every year, the annual stockholders meeting for Delta Airlines was held in Monroe, Louisiana.
Where?
And
I've stayed in every hotel in Monroe, Louisiana. I would imagine there are a hefty number of stockholders.
I don't think there are a lot of 5-star hotels in Monroe.
I can confirm.
But they would have the stockholders meeting, the annual meeting in Monroe, their home. And the story goes, as they're wrapping up one of the meetings, one of the stockholders raised his hand and said, "Can I make a suggestion that next year's annual meeting be moved to a bigger, more metro location?" And the gentleman who took the question said, "We appreciate your contribution, and we want to welcome everyone back to Monroe next year for our 1997 shareholders meeting."
Now, I've been to something like that where John snuck his way into the print room at SEC Media Days, and just as they were about to wrap up with Mississippi State's starting buck linebacker, there's John. He says, "Can I make a motion that we move this event to a larger location?" And surprisingly enough, it was met with virtually the same reaction.
We were interviewing. I'm trying to remember which commissioner it was at the time, because
it wasn't Harvey Schiller. It wasn't Mike Slive.
It was Mike Slive because Catherine, his secretary, who
Right.
sits,
Catherine Switzer.
all of his interviews, sitting there next to us when I asked, Commissioner Slive, have you ever thought about moving this event out of Birmingham? And she looked at me like, I can't believe you just asked him that question.
Which did not faze John one bit, because he's used to that kind of reaction.
Yeah. Now, it took probably 8-10 more years before they actually did move it out of Birmingham. But hey,
John took credit.
The seed was planted. And Barry, I know how you like to read books.
Yes.
So I've got a book of the history of Delta Airlines. I
want to borrow it. I want to
let you read it about their beginnings, dusting crops in Monroe, Louisiana.
Because
and that's where the name Delta came from, that part of the country, the Mississippi Delta, Louisiana Delta, and all that kind of stuff. And that's where the name came from.
Wow. That totally trumps me on the nerdo-meter, me knowing what Warren G. Harding's middle name is. John goes with a little Delta trivia. Bill from Baltimore says, I could see John crashing a stockholders meeting, Gordon Gekko style. Just picture him at a playoff committee meeting saying, greed is good. Greed
now
works.
If my portfolio has dropped 8%, I'm going to be doing something besides that. Like, what the heck's going on over there? Let's go. But yeah, I've been to Monroe a couple of times. I certainly have.
Plainsman Preston says, I stepped out of my car onto the parking lot at the arena in Monroe, right on a pile of horse crap. No. That wasn't you. That was David Housel. Come on. You got to stay with the urban legend that John and Warren have been promoting for all of these years, like that really happened.
Well, that was Doc NBA, actually.
Oh, okay. Doc NBA.
Yeah, who I had lunch with last week.
I guess it was.
Doc NBA is the one that saw Housel step off the bus into that.
Allegedly. So,
Theodis also has been to the Pan Am Museum. I didn't realize they had one. There again, I've been to the Delta Museum, which is right there next to Hartsfield in Atlanta, off of 85. If you got some extra time when you're in Atlanta, I highly recommend going by the Delta Museum. They actually have a 747, a 757, and maybe a DC-3, if I'm not mistaken, on the lot that you can walk in and see and check out, and along with all the other memorabilia. It's very, very interesting. I highly recommend that.
Well, if you didn't catch it last night, and I didn't, I was looking at a clip of it a little while ago when I got here and got in position. One of the best, it's the best basketball game you'll see this week. It happened in Ames, Iowa, where unfortunately 3 is not 2.5, but more on that later.
Yeah, I don't know who it just becomes into it's the eye of the beholder. It wasn't one of the greatest games I ever saw. I can promise you that.
Yep. Iowa State came in number 6, and they were hosting number 2 Houston last night.
Yeah.
Big time games, big time teams. And Iowa State escapes with a 70-67 home win. That's a 3-point win for the Cyclones. Dang it. We'll get to the
just out of curiosity. If it had been the other way around, would we have touched on this 8 minutes into the broadcast?
Great game. Great game. As Maxwell Smart used to say in the classic 60s sitcom Get Smart, missed it by that much. But
what was his assistant's name?
Oh, that was 99.
99.
Who I always thought was the subject of the song of the same name by Toto.
Yeah.
Barbara Feldon.
I've been waiting so long. Oh, 99. How could you do me so wrong?
Oh, yeah. That's it. So there was that yesterday in basketball. Other than that, I don't know, Olympics.
I cannot believe Barry win. Iowa State win 8 minutes into that. That's unbelievable.
Oh, what a great game.
That one. Yeah.
Great game. I had to bring that up just simply because when we're talking about crop dusting with these guys, normally that means something else. And I figured we'd add a little, in addition to adding to the levity, I figured we actually add a little sports into it. And man, what a great game.
Or 40 points. It's both the same. It is both the same. A half or 40. Doesn't matter.
Hmm.
Now, I do see you have maybe just inadvertently passed over this, but Bill from Baltimore has definitely caught my curiosity this morning.
I brought up the Bill from Baltimore quote earlier today about John and Gordon Gekko, but yeah, did somebody tell John that the Braves seem to have a lot of injuries right now?
Here we go.
Just setting expectations. It's a shame, too, because, I mean, this team is loaded. This team,
so Robbie, is that what I'm going to start hearing? Because usually about this time I'm hearing about division championships, pennants, World Series. Now I'm going to start hearing, well, it's a rebuilding year. We've got a lot of injuries.
The injuries. Man, the losses that they had in free agency.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, crushing. Yeah. Because it is a germane topic because they're starting to wiggle their toes a little bit in spring training. I mean, they haven't started games or anything like that, but yeah, there's baseball going on, or at least about to go on. There's college baseball going on and everything. So we'll just giving you an idea of what we'll ignore over the next several days until the Braves.
How about
until the Braves go the first 10 games with a losing record, and then we'll bring it back up again. So yeah, just some things.
Well, that's fair. If they win the first two, I'm certainly not going to bring it up. But if they lose win the first 10, but if they lose the first 10, what's going on here? Who's this manager over there again? What's his name? Wow. That'd actually be kind of fun now that I think about it.
It's kind of tough right now. Elsewhere in the Olympics, anybody?
No.
They got this dude from Norway who's a machine. Johannes Hosflot Kaibo. He won his record 9th Winter Olympics gold medal in the cross country. I mean, John's been a runner. I've been a runner. I long distances, I got no problem with. It's just difficult to watch. That guy's out there. He's so far ahead of everybody else. He's just snowing over in the pasture land in Cortina.
Is cross-country skiing where they ski for a little bit and then they start walking like this on their skis, and they ski a little bit more, and
that's
going uphill a little bit, and
the
skiing, huh?
The one that I like, I mean, I like the slalom and all that. The one that I like is the biathlon.
Yeah.
Where you ski for a little while, then you drop to a knee and you fire you got your rifle with you.
Yeah, strapped to your back.
I don't know if it's a rifle, like a 22 or a 30-06 or something like that, but it's a by gosh rifle because they sit down there and they pow, and they hit the target and everything.
It's like those little round glass cylinders they're popping out or something like that.
Which, I've seen rifle in the Summer Olympics and the small bore pistol.
Yeah.
Small bore always reminds me of Buddy Diliberto, but a small bore pistol, the rifle, why don't
I just like to see them
the right idea in the
I like seeing them go downhill. That other stuff, not so much. There's been some times when I've been snow skiing and I went a little too far past the lift and I had to kind of walk my way back up a little bit to get in the line. There's nothing fun about that.
Well, there's nothing fun about watching it either, to be honest. Yeah. John watches the slalom and the the freestyle skiing the same way he watches NASCAR. Oh, look at her. Oh, man, she stayed on her feet. Dang, I thought she was headed for those trees over there. That would have been cool. That kind of a thing. He's rooting for Crash.
Yeah. So Theotis, he's right. In the Bond film For Your Eyes Only, there was a scene where there was a biathlon competition. Not with that little cute blonde figure skater. That wasn't her. She was in that movie, but that
Lynn Holly Johnson.
One of the bad guys was a biathlon, and they were showing him do that.
That was when it was For Your Eyes Only with Lynn Holly Johnson, who was a figure skater. That was the time when later Roger Moore said, I knew I was about over with in For Your Eyes Only when I was old enough to be Lynn Holly Johnson's grandfather.
Yeah.
And they had me and her.
Time to move on. Actually, that was one of the few rare times Bond passed up a romp with a female in the sack. He said, honey, you're a little too young for me. I remember seeing that at the movie theater thinking, really? Huh. I'm like 18. I don't think I'd ever see that. Wow, this is a new Bond.
Our buddy Jay, great guy, miss that guy. He says, For Your Eyes Only is an amazing Bond film. It's the one Roger Moore should have gone.
Probably right. I think he did 2 after that, if I'm not mistaken.
Moonraker.
Well, Moonraker was before For Your Eyes Only.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Which was kind of out there, and they kind of reeled it in and went more traditional with For Your Eyes Only,
also,
which was a good one.
When we come back.
It was a good one.
A remembrance. John and I have been together since March 19th, 1997. I know.
Wow.
It's a long time.
It's coming up in about a month.
Yeah, about a month. It will be 29 years.
Man.
And in that time, we have had some lows. We've had a lot of highs.
Trying to think one
of the pinnacle moments of this program, we will remember when we come back the passing of one of the active members of that moment. The Reverend Jesse Jackson passed away overnight.
Did he really?
And
I missed that.
He had certainly an impact on American society and American history. He was present at the Lorraine Motel at the assassination of Martin Luther King, ran for president, very active in civil rights. And also he was a guest with Longshore and McKnight time. And
that is a fact.
He hung up on John. That's coming up.
When I was younger, Barry, I always thought Jesse Jackson and Reggie Jackson were brothers. Yeah, I did when I was younger.
All of the cachet he had for knowing that Delta started in Monroe, Louisiana, has just disappeared.
When you're like 16 or something, you're going, hey, I think those two guys, are they brothers? Yeah, I think they are. Reggie and Jesse.
Also, in just a little bit, Brian Matthews, AuburnSports.com. Travis Ryer on YouTube. We're looking forward to it. It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News. Glad you're along with us here on and presented by Bud Light.
Known by avid golfers as one of the most beautiful and challenging stops on the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail, Cambrian Ridge in Greenville lies just 40 miles from Montgomery. It is well worth the ride for any golfer looking for 27 holes of jaw-dropping golf. The greens have been redesigned to accommodate the higher green speeds associated with their installation of the latest generation of ultra-dwarf Bermuda grass. Cambrian Ridge offers a fully stocked pro shop with all the latest equipment and apparel. Great food and beverages in the clubhouse can be enjoyed both before and after your round. Get your group together and hit the trail. Go to rtjgolf.com/Cambrian Ridge for tee times and more information.
Ram Truck Month is here at Stivers, Alabama's #1 volume CDJR dealer. New Rams, 19 grand off or 0% for 6 years. And heavy duties, 14 grand off. Backed by Ram's 10-year, 100,000-mile limited warranty. Only at Stivers Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. The President's Day sales event is on at Stivers, Alabama's #1 volume CDJR dealer. Grand Cherokees under 27 grand or up to 15 grand off. Wranglers, 14 grand off. And Gladiators, 16 grand off. Only at Stivers Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
Phoenix Physical Therapy is ready to help patients recover, recharge, and rise. They develop a customized therapy plan for each patient to get them back to enjoying their favorite activities. Their experienced team is committed to providing exceptional care in a professional environment. Whether you're looking to prevent or treat an injury, recover from a recent illness, or recuperate from surgery, schedule an appointment with our clinic and take advantage of our physical therapy, athletic training, workers' comp, and employer solutions service. Experience elevated physical therapy today. Call Phoenix Physical Therapy at 239-9316. That's 239-9316.
Okay, it's about 19 minutes past the hour on this Tuesday. So glad you're with us here, whether you're checking us out live or on your schedule, which is so easy to do because you can pull us up on Facebook and YouTube, X, Spotify, Apple Tunes. Instagram. We're all over the place. Yellowhammer News and yellowhammernews.com as well, with video content right up about the show each and every afternoon. Check it out. We appreciate it. So many people we hear from that view and or listen throughout the day. We really appreciate that.
Well,
and certainly see the numbers that indicate it.
We certainly see the response as well from people, whether they text me during the day and say, man, you didn't know about AutoPen. And, people are listening and watching. People have texted me during the break and said, all right, what's the deal with Jesse Jackson?
Oh,
well, we missed a chance with Kamala Harris over the weekend, who came to Montgomery.
Yeah, I was out of town.
But, yeah, so was I. But
not that I would have gone anyway. But anyway,
I think we knew that. Jesse Jackson once stopped by in Montgomery.
Yes.
To participate in a it wasn't a civil rights memorial or anything. He wasn't, I can't remember what it was, but it was an actual civil rights drive where he was, helping in a wasn't a protest. It was just a public appearance or whatever. And we got him on the air with us.
Yes.
And very gracious, I thought. He was to us, and I thought we were to him. But he took exception, slight exception. It wasn't terrible. I mean, nobody was screaming and yelling to a question that John asked and John's follow-up. And Jesse wanted to talk. He wanted to kind of take over the interview. And sometimes he would been accused of doing, and John was trying to make his point and wouldn't let him. And I remember one point, I'm sitting here, this is on radio, so we can't see each other. And I remember Jesse going, no, like that, and finally he just hang up the phone, and John says, wait a minute, did he hang up? Yeah, and that is our Jesse Jackson story. He passed away overnight. He was pretty old.
Our late great producer, Jay Hulsey, hooked that up for us. He had gotten in contact with Reverend Jackson when he was in town and introduced himself and laid down the story of why we wanted to interview him and all that. Barry, this surrounded the Sylvester Croom, Mike Shula era in college football, because Mike Shula got hired by Alabama. Sylvester Croom got hired by Mississippi State. There was a lot of talk about why Alabama did not hire Sylvester Croom, which I wondered the same thing. Publicly went on record and stated it.
That is true.
If you look at the resumes, there's no doubt about it. Who's more qualified? And that is what the discussion was about. Somehow it got turned a little sideways. Nothing got out of hand. No feelings were hurt. But Jesse seemed to have a hard time hearing my question. Maybe there was a phone issue, allegedly. And he suddenly cut the interview off. Wow, Barry, did he just hang up on us? I don't know if he intentionally hung up on us. I have my thoughts and feelings about that. But nonetheless, very glad that we had the opportunity to interview Jesse Jackson. So that was, 20 years ago?
Well, when Sylvester, that'd be about right. Yeah. Maybe a little bit more than 20 years ago. He had been ill for quite a while with a form of palsy, which is, it ended up, it's a lot like Parkinson's. He was 84. So
that was a good one. And there again, I didn't go into it, trying to get anything started. I was just glad we had the opportunity to talk to him. I cannot say the same thing about Mike Price. I went in with a preconceived notion.
Boy, he did. Yep. He did. John was laying in wait. Mike Price got hired as the head coach at Alabama, which was, I don't know if the word shock is even strong enough. But who was that hired him? Was it Bockrath?
I think it was. Anyway, Bockrath. I'm about to say it wasn't Mal, was it? No, because Mal hired Shula. Maybe it was Mal.
Maybe I don't know. But anyway, he got hired, and John was not impressed. Who is this guy? Why in the world do they hire him? You ever drive down the road, country road, middle of nowhere, and you look up and you say, man, look at all those vultures. Look at them buzzards over there. They're all circling. That was like John waiting for Mike Price's phone call to come in. John was just, is he dead? Yeah, I mean, like a vulture. You know, I think that thing's dead, John.
Yeah,
Jack.
Yeah. Mike came on.
No, man, it ain't dead. I can see it moving. All right. Yeah. Well, when is it? And then they'll swoop.
You know, speaking of Jay Holseyberry, Jay and I drove to Tuscaloosa for a luncheon that Mike Price had at the Cypress Inn on the banks of the Black Warrior River.
Right.
I'll never forget it. Jay and I, we drove the red sports radio pickup truck up there. Remember that
Blazer?
No, the red 4-door pickup. Yeah, had the logo and everything.
Oh, yeah.
We go to go have lunch, and Mike Price is like doing a lounge act in Vegas. I mean, he is walking from table to table, cracking jokes, you know, yucking it up. And I'm thinking, who is this bozo?
Did he say, hey, Ringo, play something hot?
I'm thinking, unbelievable.
Yeah.
So then, you know, I think
Plainsman Preston, I don't know. I don't remember specifically, but that would be the solid bet. Clearly not a luncheon for which you paid.
I mean, you people know me well enough. You think I was going up there and actually paying for lunch too?
With Mike Price?
Yeah, that's why I took a company vehicle up there. I wasn't even going to pay for the gas. Come on.
No.
So we get back. I'm sure I talked about it the next day, but I'm just going, this is not going to go well.
Then we had him on the air, and we welcomed him warmly, and then the fireworks. Well, not fireworks, because there was something also about Mike Price's voice, that flat Midwestern twang, a little Franchione-esque, that just kind of set John off, a little bit nasal. And, it got to the point where pretty quickly in the visit where John said, Coach, I was against your hiring at the University of Alabama.
Yeah,
I think it's
I can
a mistake.
remember it.
How do you respond? You know, what do you think about that? Or how do you like those apples or something like that, John said.
Yeah.
And he said famously, well, just come to the games
and watch us win.
Of course, now, the fact that he never made it to the first game was part of the story as well. But
I think I kind of hit him with a haymaker right, you know, when the opening round bell rang. Because my first statement was, Coach, I just think it's only fair as before we get this interview started, I was against you being hired by Alabama. I just don't think you're the best choice to be the next head football coach. And that's what he hit me with. Well, just come to the games and watch us win.
And John, you know, would have a real nasally voice when he recreated that line. But the run up to that was John had been vocally against it when his name first came up as a potential candidate. He said, oh, no, not that guy. Oh, come on. West Coast guy, offense, not very physical. I mean, they don't need him. Why in the world are they even thinking about him? And we had some back chat from some callers. Oh, John, you're saying that you're good at, you know, all that kind of stuff, but you don't have the cojones to actually say. John says, I'll say it to him. And so he did, and that happened. And then afterwards, of course, what happened with him on that lonely night in Pensacola, where he was at some event, and he spent a little bit of his free time, either pre or post event, at a dive.
Arity's Angels,
where they had adult dancers.
Well, it's
and one of the dancers was a lady named Destiny, and the word was that he had been in his cups, as they used to say. And the testimony was that he had told her that she's the most beautiful woman in the world. To which the narrator jumps in and says, she wasn't.
Yeah. I think a lot of men have said that to women in that profession after several cocktails. And it is dark in those places, Barry. So you really can't get a good look of what how ugly they are. But Arity's Angels, obviously play on the Blue Angels, which is a big part of Pensacola. And I don't know if Erity's Angels is still there. The building is. I don't think it's named that anymore.
I'll be in Pensacola in about 3 weeks. I'm
going to go by. Just get some time, drive by and see if it's there. I think they were playing every year. They play in a golf event in those parts. I think it's actually closer to in Baldwin County. It's not even in Pensacola, but be that as it may, they have a big golf event. A lot of big dogs come down and play with the coaches and whatnot. And Mike got a little carried away, left his credit card at the hotel. Destiny charged up a lot of food and beverage.
Oh, hit the mini bar, hit the mini fridge really hard.
So it was
Snicker bars, absolute.
No idea this was going to happen with Mike Price when we interviewed him 2 weeks earlier. And lo and behold, when it happened, I went, told you this guy was a loser. Told you they shouldn't have hired him. Of course, I lived off that for probably, 2-3 years, tooting my own horn about what a terrible hire he was. And I actually had gotten on Mal a little bit, but Mal made up for it when he hired Nick Saban, obviously. I was very much in favor of that, particularly when nobody thought it was going to happen. And they were so fixated on Rich Rodriguez. That was a perfect example of don't look over here, but make sure you look at these shiny keys over here I'm rattling. Make sure you don't look over here, but look over here. Yeah. And that was an interesting man. Jesse Jackson and Mike Price. Wow.
Two of the real moments here on this program. When we come back.
Hey, real quick here, Barry, before we move on.
Good, because I'm going to send a link real quick.
This is our friend Dudley Lucky.
Dudley's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
We've known Dudley since he was, a toddler.
Yeah.
A toddler.
Thank you, Dudley.
Great kid. Dudley, of course, we've been a big fan of his for a long time. He's checking in on the program. Good to have him as a listener. That's awesome. And as a viewer as well. Yeah. It's coming up in just a moment. Brian Matthews from auburnsports.com is going to join us. We'll have trying to get a link out to him as we go to break. And then later on, Travis Ryer on YouTube. It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Hey, folks, how often do you think about your roof? Probably not often at all. I know I didn't until I needed a roof replacement. And I call my friends at Roof Life. Whether it's roof inspections, roof repair, or insurance roof replacement, Roof Life is there for you. They use the highest quality products, top quality craftsmanship, and if you're like me, your roof can be replaced in one day. So if you're in need of a roof inspection, roof repair, or insurance roof replacement, get in touch with my friends at Roof Life today. You can go to roofyourlife.com. That's roofyourlife.com, or dial them up locally at 334-306-6712. That's 334-306-6712.
The Bush Guide, cold and smooth survival skills. For a successful stint in the great outdoors, pack accordingly. Place heavy essentials near your spine for stability in rough terrain, with light items near the bottom. Now, you may be wondering, where does the Bush Light go? In your stomach. Bush. Head for the mountains. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2023, Anheuser-Busch, Bush Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Stivers Ford of Montgomery has F-150s over 16 grand off plus 2.9%. And your last chance for a tax credit on Lightnings. 17 grand in savings or 0% or $349 a month with zero down.
Stivers Ford, where price sells Fords.
Stivers Ford of Montgomery has Broncos under 35 grand. Bronco Sports under 24 grand. Rockies under 29 grand or $299 a month with zero down. And new Explorers 10 grand off or 2.9%.
Stivers Ford, where price sells Ford.
All righty, welcome back in, everybody. Glad you're with us. About 26 minutes to the top of the hour. Our next guest is Brian Matthews, auburnsports.com. I bet Brian would have enjoyed listening in to our last segment, Barry, when we were reminiscing about the good old days of Mike Price and his 6 weeks in Tuscaloosa.
That was the good old days for Auburn football, wasn't it?
Yeah, they were
a winning streak. Every year there was something dumb happening in Tuscaloosa. Yeah, those were the days.
Well, I'm tearing up now.
It made this show a lot more interesting. I'll tell you that. Got kind of dull when we don't have players like Mike Price around anymore.
We just
what was the stripper's name?
What's that?
What was the stripper's name?
Destiny. Yes.
Destiny. Yes.
We don't call her a stripper. Yes. We call her an
adult entertainer.
Yeah, an adult entertainer.
My bad. I'm sorry, Destiny. Please forgive me.
Brian Matthews is with AuburnSports.com. Auburn men's basketball, 6 games left in the regular year, 5-7 in the SEC. People are being held out of games. There's been some distractions. What's the state of everything right now, Brian?
It's going to be a real challenge for them to get it going here in the second half. I feel like one of the worst three-point shooting teams in the country, one of the worst three-point defending teams in the country. I think the book is out on Auburn. They're best when they're playing great defense and taking it to the rim and not chucking up threes. And teams, of course, know that, and they're going to try to force Auburn to chuck up threes. So it's they're a tough situation. But I think the key for them is just to play great defense and try to create more offense out of defense. That's the only solution I see. I do think Keyshawn Hall will be back soon, as soon as tomorrow night. We'll see. We talked to Coach Pearl today. I'm not sure if he's going to offer any definitives on that because I think he probably wants to keep Mississippi State guessing. But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
What's the nature of the issue? I mean, is it behavioral? Is it an almost pathological dislike of playing defense? I mean, what?
I think it's just a disciplinary issue. I don't know the specifics of it, but I think it's just a disciplinary issue. But
who likes to play defense? Nobody likes to play defense.
I mean, when I played defense, it was just trying to grab the next guy or elbow him or something. I don't know how that's such a hard thing to do. I don't get it.
You're on the right.
That was
when a guy gets a rebound and goes the length of the floor on a fast break, and I'm always looking at that guy going, why is he chasing him down the floor? I mean, the odds of this guy missing the layup is like zilch,
Exactly. I mean, if you had done his job, you'd have tripped him down the other end. That's how I play ball. I don't understand.
So with again, with Auburn right now 5-7 in the league in a free fall, 14-11, 6 games left. I guess they could win all of those games. They could also, not win all of those games.
Yes.
Would like 3-3 in the remaining 6, would that get them in the tournament, do you figure?
I think so. I think the committee still looks at Auburn as a team that has played the toughest or one of the top 2 or 3 toughest schedules in the country. They have some really nice wins. And the other thing, I looked a couple of days ago, I think Auburn is undefeated against quad 3 and quad 4 teams so far. So they don't have any really bad losses either. So when you're just looking at Auburn on paper, yeah, the record's not good, but a lot of the analyticals are pretty darn good with those wins over Florida, NC State, who was the other? St. John's, and then one other good one there in the SEC. So Arkansas. So I think they've got some nice things to talk about with the committee, but they've got to not just fall to pieces here over the last few weeks going into the tournament.
We talked about this, Brian, I guess last week, just looking at the way the schedule's playing out. I mean, they were on the road at Arkansas, on the road at Mississippi State, who beat Ole Miss last week in their last outing. Kentucky coming in on Saturday, then they're at Oklahoma. Just three of the next 4 on the road. Tough stretch there as they're trying to get things back in order.
And Oklahoma and Mississippi State have had some nice wins here recently.
Yeah,
so probably feel better themselves. Mississippi State has this kid named Josh Hubbard who can score, from anywhere at any time, and might be excited about playing against Auburn's perimeter defense. We'll see. So, this is an interesting matchup. But I agree with Barry that Auburn is a team that can win any of these games or lose any of these games. It does not matter. LSU, they could lose, they could win. Kentucky, win, lose. You don't know which team's going to show up. You don't know how much passion they're going to play with and how hard they're going to get after it. On the defensive end.
Well, 27 games in, and I'm following up on some of your things. Auburn has the number 2 strength of schedule in the country, behind Texas Tech and 2 ahead of Alabama. And their net is 32, which is not comfortable, but
Solid.
It's solid. 25 games in to the season. What's the feel about the job Stephen Pearl has done?
I think you have to look in the context of what Auburn has. I think going back to the spring, summer, and building this team with the 10 newcomers, I think that's where most of the mistakes were made. Maybe one or two many taking risks with kids that maybe didn't have the perfect situation as far as their motivation, as far as you can trust them to do everything right in your program. And a couple of those haven't worked out quite right. And then they've had some issues with some injuries. Oporum, the other JUCO guy who hasn't played because of his bad back. Some other things, but I just think they need to do a better job of roster building, and it's tough when you have only one guy returning. I think what they really hope for going to next offseason, if they can have 3 or 4 of these guys back and build around them instead of having to bring in a whole new team.
Yeah, and that's just the way where we're living now. I mean, I've said it for the last couple of years, Brian. You got to get a roster every season to see who's on the team. I mean, it's a different lineup, different faces. I don't see how these coaches do it. I really don't when there's so much change each and every season.
Yeah, and it's not like a Pearl team, whether it's Steven or Bruce, to not have good 3-point shooting, right? That's been one of his things. Some guys have just taken steps back, and Pettiford, some guys just don't quite have it at that level yet. So there's been a lot of things that have gone into it. I do think Steven wants a more defensive team, and he needs to bring in more of those type guys, more guys with length and that can defend the floor better, can defend the perimeter better. That's been a big issue.
I think we'll look back a few years from now with the benefit of hindsight and realize, man, getting Janai Broome was like found money out of wherever it was, Morehead State or whatever, because players like that aren't just, walking the streets right now, Brian.
Yep. And that was a great evaluation. And, they need more of those, and that they just need to go out there and get some more and better basketball players. That you can't play the way Steven wants to play and only have 6 or 7 rotation. It just does not work over the course of a season, in my opinion.
And maybe we'll see this play out. Maybe we won't. But my first thought, Brian, in this day and age, when Stephen Pearl benched Keyshawn Hall, my first thought was, well, he won't be playing at Auburn next year. I ain't putting up with this. I'm out. Coach going to bench me. I'll go somewhere where the coach let me do whatever I want. Not to say that's going to happen, but that's the first thing I thought of, because do coaches even bench players anymore? I mean, I give it up to Stephen Pearl. I congratulate him for doing something like that in this day and age when players can just say, the heck with you, coach, I'm out.
They can, and they do. I think Keyshawn is out of eligibility for next year. We'll see. That's, there's no definitive.
Have you ever heard of Charles Bediako?
Yeah, exactly. And, but, you can go to Caden Magwood, who got quote unquote benched and went to the scout team. At least for him, he's still on the scout team, still going through practice, being a part of the team, so to speak. But, I don't think he'll be back next year. I don't see how he could be. So, it's tough. It's tough to coach a team up, but also know this team is making a lot of money. They feel like not all of them feel like they have to do and follow all the rules. Part of a basketball program. The only real power coach has is trying to bring in the right people and whether that kid plays or not.
Brian, one weekend into the Auburn baseball season, The best player on the Auburn team is Chris Rembert. He's an All-American, was a freshman last year. Freilich, I think, is really good. A lot of good freshmen last year that are now a little bit older. What's your takeaway from a very short sample size of this team?
Well, the pitching was incredible. A ton of strikeouts over the weekend. I think it was 42 or 3, something like that. But it was the most since at least 92 as far as the records go back. So really, really impressive. And they've got like 6 or 7 guys now that could be starters. So they're still going to figure that out as we move forward. But really nice job. It's you don't want to lay too much down and against Youngstown State, who I thought played pretty well. But there's still some tougher games coming up, including in Arlington this upcoming weekend. They'll play Kansas State, Louisville, and Florida State, or Florida State, Louisville. So that's going to be a real challenge for them. And Cincinnati tonight will be pretty good too. I'll be there for that at Plainsman Park. But I'm impressed with this team. Chase Fralick looked exactly how I thought he'd look. Chris Rembert was good until he had that tough slide in the second. He turned his ankle. It was an inversion turn, so not rolling your outside, but rolling your inside, which I've never experienced, but apparently is not quite as severe as the other way, and they're thinking he'll be on the out for a couple of weeks here. We'll see. I'll get another update on him later today. But yeah, this is an exciting baseball team. Should be a really competitive team. I think they can compete at the top of the SEC.
Final question, Brian Matthews. 1 week from today, March 17th, Auburn officially begins spring practice, and it ends with the A-Day spring game 2 months from tomorrow. What's going on right now? It's all the grunt stuff that nobody likes, right?
Yep, they're going through the winter workouts. They're having meetings. Guys like Byron Brown are sitting down in that quarterback room or talking with the wide receivers and telling them about the offense. Same with Cole Best about the offensive line. So they've brought in some guys from USF that know exactly what this coaching staff is going to expect once they hit the field here in a month. It's going to be unlike any spring practice I've ever covered. 60 newcomers.
Wow.
90 plus players on scholarship for spring. I think we may have talked about this before. That's nothing like it was for most of my career. Come spring, the coaches are like, we can't have a full scrimmage. We don't have enough players. Now you've got enough to have a 2 deep on each side and have a real scrimmage, like two teams playing each other. So
I think it was you that told us a couple of weeks ago that 39 transfers.
Yep.
Out of the 60.
39 transfers, 21 freshmen. I mean, there's a couple of those guys that won't be in until May, but basically, it's most of those guys already in. So it's going to be like a full fall team out there during spring.
I got you.
Brian, I saw over the weekend that LSU has a corporate sponsor, and we'll be wearing their patch on their football uniform this fall. I believe it's an Australian company, if I'm not mistaken. Any word that if Auburn will be doing something similar to that?
Oh, I'm expecting them to. I don't know who the patch will be with, but they are working hard to do that. Anything that this group can do to generate money, they are doing. So that is coming. But no, I do not know who it is. It won't be Brian Matthews on the patch. I could not come up with the funds this year, but maybe Longshore McKnight.
Yeah, how about that? No kidding. Out. We'll get with legal and see if we can do that.
Yep.
Yeah. Brian Matthews, auburnsports.com. What's going on the website? What about the rest of the week? What does the content possibly look like, and how do people sign in?
Well, I would say that we're going to continue to crank out all the news there. I know we don't mention this often, but Donovan Moore, the commitment Auburn got, I guess it was late last week or over the weekend, but really talented defensive lineman, one of the top players in the state. I think he's ranked number 1 right now. So that was a really nice pickup, I thought, from Hueytown for the Tigers. We'll have full coverage of recruiting, baseball, basketball, upcoming spring practice, all that more, auburnsports.com. You can follow me on Twitter, /X at BMattAU.
Awesome stuff, Brian. Appreciate you very much.
Appreciate you guys. Take care.
Yep.
Yes,
Brian
sir.
Matthews.
Good stuff. Brian Matthews, auburnsports.com, joining us as he does each and every Tuesday here on the program. I've got a couple of ideas of what that patch might look like on the Auburn uniform. What? Over there shaking your head like, huh?
I don't see. The thing is, it was genius. It truly was genius to change the corporate name from Osmos to Yellowwood down in Abbeville. But you know, they do a great job with it. Jimmy Rain is a really good marketer. Back in the day, they used to have Osmos pressure treated pine, and they'd stamp the ends of the 2x4s with a little yellow piece of paper, letting you know what it is, and I don't know, maybe the price or something like that. And so they'd have a big old stack of it, and it'd be all yellow on the end with all the. So they started calling it Yellowwood, and you'll see every once in a while when you go down a rural highway, a ramshackle, broken down barn, and somebody put a sign up and said, should have used Yellowwood or something like that.
Yeah.
So that's good. But a yellow patch on the Auburn uniform, that wouldn't look good.
They've already got one on the field. Might as well put it on the uniform as well.
You know what? You know, I'm a big fan of them and everything. But yellow doesn't go with a lot.
No,
it doesn't. I mean, yellow goes with black, like, you know, right down here and all that. I like that.
There again.
But on orange and blue, on navy blue and orange, yellow and orange do not go.
If they're willing to spend the money, they'll put whatever you want on it.
Like, I don't know. Like you had a couple of ideas out there.
Yeah.
One of them probably not a smoothie company.
Apparel manufacturers. You know, we're going to give you these uniforms, but we want you to tweak it up a little bit. Well, we don't do that here. Well, then you don't get the uniforms. Yeah.
That has happened. I have anecdotal evidence that type of a thing has occurred.
Yeah, well, you know, it's like I ain't paying no 50 cents for a Coke. Well, then you ain't getting no Coke. Yeah.
It's coming up in just a bit. It's Travis Reier on YouTube. Let's take a break right here. Back with more. It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Ram Truck Month is here at Stivers, Alabama's #1 volume CDJR dealer. New Rams, 19 grand off or 0% for 6 years, and heavy duties, 14 grand off. Backed by Ram's 10-year, 100,000-mile limited warranty. Only at Stivers Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. The President's Day sales event is on at Stivers, Alabama's #1 volume CDJR dealer. Grand Cherokees under 27 grand or up to 15 grand off. Wranglers 14 grand off, and Gladiators 16 grand off. Only at Stivers Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
Hey bro, weirdest thing is happening at the game. This guy sitting next to me says, "You're our good luck charm. Every time I crack a Bud Light, we score a touchdown." Now his entire family wants to buy me Bud Lights. I think I'm some kind of a football prophet. Talk soon. The team needs me.
Anything for Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Stock up today. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2025 Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Love is in the air, and so is your chance to win during Victoryland Casino's BMW and 25K giveaway. Drive away in a brand new BMW or win your share of $25,000 in free play. The more you visit, the more chances you have to win. Stop by the Players Club and fall in love with this month's exciting free play promotions. There's more ways to win at Victoryland Casino, where you can be a winner too. Victoryland Casino is located off I-85, exit 22 in Shorter, Alabama. Drawings February 27th and 28th. Must be 21 or older. Must be present to win.
All guests of Longshore McKnight appear on the City of Montgomery guest hotline. Check out the most interesting and informed personalities in sports covering Auburn, Alabama, Troy, ASU, and all the major teams from across the country. John and Barry have the best guests brought to you by the City of Montgomery. To find out everything you need to know that is going on in the capital city, check out montgomeryal.gov. That's montgomeryal.gov, the capital of dreams.
All right, welcome back in, everybody. Glad you're with us. A couple of minutes before the top of the hour. Travis Reier on YouTube will join us then. Barry, I want to be, I know it's already on record, but I just want it to be clear.
All right.
I do like the expanded playoff. I do not like the idea of a 24-team playoff.
What are you advocating?
I could live with a 16. 12's okay, but 16 is a number that I like. I could live with 16. But I saw a mock-up of what a 24-team bracket would have looked like this past season. And I guess if you have a 24-team playoff, 8 of those teams get a first-round bye. Only 16 teams play in the first round. This would have been the matchups in the first round of the playoff last year.
Campus sites, right?
Arizona at Southern Cal. James Madison at Alabama. Oh. Houston at BYU. Well, what kind of playoff we talking about here? Tulane at Texas. Michigan at Utah. Iowa at Miami. Georgia Tech at Notre Dame. What are they making, Rudy 2 or something? And Virginia at Vanderbilt. That ain't the first. Those aren't the matchups I want to see in the first round.
See, this is
what I'm talking about.
This whole time, I've been against it. I've been against the 14 playoff, the 18. I've been against all of it. I didn't have a problem with any of it. And, so it bugged me a little bit. There was nothing wrong with the way that we were doing it in my mind. But what irked me about it was that we were changing it just for change's sake. And, I knew John was advocating, let's go 4, knowing for sure. He'll say, how about 8? Well, now what about 16? I knew that was coming. And also I knew this is what irritated me as much as anything. John wants a 16-team playoff, but John doesn't think there are 16 good teams in the whole country. Well, if in the world of John Longshore, everything should always come down to about 5 or 6 schools.
True. And it normally does.
And the rest of them, John says, what? Michigan and Utah, Vanderbilt and Virginia. No, what in the world? So he's advocating all these teams, but I know in my heart and soul that there's only about 6 of them that he says, oh, wow, this sounds great. The rest of them is a total waste of his time, but still he's telling everybody he wants it.
There are 6 of them. Now, the top 8 teams that would have gotten a bye, they're in. They're good. I don't have a problem with them. They've earned their way, had impressive years, 8 of the best teams out there. And then the next 6 of these 16 teams that would be playing in the first round will keep Southern Cal. Well, they're not any good. They're Southern Cal. Alabama, Texas, Michigan, Miami, and Notre Dame. And
this is a total shocker. Go through that list again and act like you're reading again. Act like you're reading this off of a computer screen instead of what I know is a fact, and that you're just saying this off the top of your head.
Well,
then go through those teams again.
Arizona would be at USC. We'll keep USC. Arizona, not happening. We'll keep Alabama. James Madison, no, not happening.
I don't care if they go. Yeah. If they go 12-0 and win every game by 35, they ain't, it don't matter what you do. It's how you are thought of.
True. And how much revenue you'll bring us through television ratings. Houston and BYU, laughable. I mean, please don't waste my time. Tulane at Texas. Hey, Tulane love you, but not going to happen. But we will take Texas.
The only reason why John loves Tulane is because of Tommy Bowden in 1997 with Sean King.
Yeah. Michigan at Utah. I got a sore spot about Utah. It goes back several years. Michigan, we'll let them in. Iowa.
You always said Michigan was the most overrated program in the country.
Yeah, but they get, they have like more wins than anybody in college football, and a lot of people watch
Pay attention to that?
Yeah, a lot of people watch Michigan football. Iowa at Miami. I'm not sure I'd let Iowa in the playoff if they were undefeated and ranked number 1. They're the most boring brand of football I've ever watched. Georgia Tech at Notre Dame. Tech, nice little year. Good for you. Not getting in. Notre Dame, yeah, you're getting in.
Again, the reason why Georgia Tech is not getting in and the reason why Notre Dame is getting in, John just kind of glossed over it, heavily dependent on everybody. You know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
in the background.
Sure.
You know, Georgia Tech, nice little year. Let me pat you on the head. Now go off over to the Fisher Price table and play with the other little kids with their Cheerios and their mac and cheese, and let the big people over here.
And Virginia and Vanderbilt, that's a regular season matchup. I mean, you don't bust a gut to get those two teams in the playoff. So
I've never seen anybody.
Is way out of line. We don't need a 24. Now 16, I could live with. I could live with that.
I've never seen anybody who professes to love college football, but really only about 6 or 7 or 8 teams. And I've never, ever met anybody that loves going over future schedules.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's an obsession that I'm still trying to figure out. But it ain't future schedules for everybody. It's like, oh, John, man, have you seen James Madison's schedule for 20? No.
Come on.
No. You know, it ain't, but
true.
This guy loves him some future schedules like nobody in the history
that is
of
a fact.
Ever.
But you're right, Barry.
You know, there's some of them
there's about
that I'm really looking at.
Teams, I'm really concerned about their future schedule. The other ones, I'll just let the chips fall where they may when they play. Hey, really, they playing this week? Huh? I didn't know that. But I can tell you who Ohio State's playing in the next 3 seasons. Got a plan ahead.
Maybe. There's some people who don't think that's going to happen. Well, we know what's going to happen. Travis Reier is going to join us from Reier on YouTube. The YouTube channel has so many different things that are going on. Actually, Travis, we had a conversation about you earlier when John was noting your, what was it, John? The fried fish sandwich ratings?
Travis, I mean, that video and then just the sandwich. Did it taste as good as it looked?
Swimming yesterday.
That's a key.
Was.
That's a key.
That's where it starts.
Yeah.
I mean, with a fish sandwich, you can't fake the fresh, right?
No.
So that's where it started. Also, sometimes you get the fried fish sandwich and it's overly breaded.
Yeah.
You know, maybe like they're trying to hide something.
Yeah.
That was lightly dusted cornmeal on there. Nothing to hide with that. And about 4 fillets of flounder.
No
on there,
kidding.
So.
Yeah, no kidding. That thing was huge.
High. Yeah. Took the roof of my mouth off too. It was so fresh out of the grease.
I mean,
and
you know what else?
You know what else, guys?
What's that?
You want that daily changed grease. You know, you can tell if it doesn't have that real light golden look to it. It's that dark, maybe almost leathery brown look to that grease. Yeah. You got to have that grease, right?
All right.
You know, and that takes a little extra step. That's a little extra effort because that's a lot of work.
Extra effort, extra expense.
Yeah.
All right. How do we feel
regularly?
How do we feel about this? Is this a thing or not? You don't fry your fish in the same grease you fry your chicken.
Well, I would be good with that. Yeah.
Okay.
You know.
All right.
But that's kind of a dying art that we're seeing.
Yeah.
Now, I thought the sides were really fresh too.
Yeah,
Travis,
I mean,
the sides on that plate look good as well.
That gumbo was really good. I like a little shrimp in my gumbo, but it was a chicken and sausage. It was the andouille.
Man,
you know,
so
I went total caveman and started dunking the fish sandwich into the gumbo.
Sweet.
Which, I'm not gonna apologize for that.
No.
And the coleslaw was good. You know, seafood restaurant. To me, the coleslaw gets disrespected a lot of times these days.
Yep.
I don't get it, but they just don't care about the coleslaw like they used to. It's the redheaded stepchild.
Well, it can be a game changer too. It completes the meal if you got a really good crispy.
And barbecue restaurants, more and more barbecue restaurants are guilty of it too.
That's
but you know, the big difference for me between seafood coleslaw and barbecue coleslaw is the seafood coleslaw will have the celery seed in it. You know, it's a little bit different. That's a little bit different usually than the barbecue coleslaw.
Get you somebody who does the research.
Yes.
On
now, you a mayonnaise-based or a vinegar-based coleslaw?
I like either way, but I mean, I'm old school. I grew up on the mayo, you know, but I don't want it killed with the mayo. You know, I just need enough. More than anything, vinegar, mayo, it's got to be ice box cold.
Oh,
you know, room temperature coleslaw
Yeah.
It doesn't get much worse than that.
Yeah.
Travis grew up on the Mayo, unlike former Florida quarterback Kerwin Bell, who grew up in Mayo, which is not that far away from
the throwing Mayoan.
That's
Kerwin Bell.
Very nicely done. It brings back
What,
memories.
Barry, was Kerwin Bell the quarterback for the Gators when they beat Auburn in Gainesville like 18-17?
Yeah, Reggie Ware had a big fumble, and he came, That was the one where my brother Mike was watching, and I were watching that game, and Beard Eves Coliseum, and he almost got in a fight.
I was down there with Pops the year Bo had the thigh injury.
Oh,
I was at that one with Pops.
Yeah,
Alabama had the week off when Auburn played Florida in Gainesville. We had a big college group headed down to Navarre Beach and listened to that game on the beach, watching the waves crash the shoreline as Kerwin Bell led the Gators to a victory that Saturday afternoon.
Well, to get back on the beam here.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
4-game winning streak for Alabama basketball. Travis, since last we talked, a win over Ole Miss in Oxford last Wednesday, and then a win over South Carolina in Tuscaloosa on Saturday by 14. This group seems to be not missing Charles Bediako very much. What's been the key?
Yeah, it's always going to be about the guard play, even with Bediako. I mean, there's those 3 or 4 guards, if you include Amari Allen in that too, to go along with Wrightsell and Philon and obviously Holloway. I mean, those are the 4 guys. And if they play at a high level, Alabama has a chance to be a second weekend, maybe pull off something beyond that in the NCAA tournament. But what this team has done, when you look at it from a schedule perspective, they've taken care of the teams they were expected to take care of, right? When you think about Mississippi State, you think about Oklahoma, you think about South Carolina, they really haven't come up short against a team that you felt like they would beat or could beat. Now, it's going to get a little tougher moving forward, but they still have Mississippi State at home. They still have LSU on the road. Those are obviously those kind of games as well. But, starting midweek this week with Arkansas coming in, Arkansas just a game out in the SEC standings behind Florida. Cal bringing in a pretty hot team to Tuscaloosa. So really need another 2-0 week and rectify some of the home game issues this team has had this season. That's something they haven't done as well.
Now. They've lost 3 games at home already this year. They're 9-3.
Yeah, and look, they've been to good teams for the most part, right? I mean, Tennessee, Purdue earlier in the season. But this is one of those games. This is one of those weeks. They need to win at home midweek and then go on the road to LSU and beat a team that's tied for last in the SEC standings.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, I thought the way the schedule has been set up since the win at Auburn, I thought Ole Miss, South Carolina, certainly winnable. They were. LSU on the road, you would think, even though on the road, that's a team they could beat. But Arkansas tomorrow night, to me, it's not live or die, but I think that would be a huge shot in the arm, beating the Hogs, ranked number 20 in the country at home tomorrow night.
Yeah, for sure. I'd say Texas was the home loss that probably reeks the most for them right now of those 3 that Barry outlined. But a chance to kind of replace that grade with some of these opportunities coming up in Tuscaloosa, when you talk about Auburn to end the regular season too. So it's a big stretch. I mean, it's not so much even about trying to stay in contention for an SEC title because, Florida has that head-to-head, and Florida right now looks so much further ahead of the rest of the league that, as much as anything, you'd like to still challenge for one of those top couple of seeds in the SEC tournament, which, could put you in a good place in terms of the seeding that really matters, and that's the NCAA tournament.
Who has been after Philon, who's been the most impressive guy to you?
I'd say lately it's probably been Holloway, and not just because of the production, but when he has produced. in some big spots for this team. I'd have Amari Allen right there, though, with him, because I think with his versatility, and I love his toughness and his competitiveness. I don't like about this team that they don't really seem to have a guy that'll step in front of the ball defensively. I know we've done our best to sort of outlaw charge takes in today's college basketball, but it still seems like the ball gets to the rim, not just with Alabama, but kind of across the sport more than it should. But yeah, I think those two guys for me. I mean, Wrightsell, if he's healthy, he has that potential. It's just sort of a game by game situation with him.
Travis, I was thinking about this over the weekend. Maybe it's just me, and maybe it's not a fair comparison. But we haven't heard a lot from Kalen DeBoer since the Rose Bowl. I think he's made one public appearance down in Mobile at the Senior Bowl. And I know, there again, not fair, because Nick Saban, you were hearing something about him every day, it seemed like, even this time of year in the offseason. Have you thought about that? Do you find that odd that it's so quiet coming out of Kalen DeBoer's office?
I don't know. I think with Nick, there was so much stuff because it wasn't that he was accessible. You know, Nick wasn't a daily or even a weekly, but when he did talk, it resonated. I mean, whether it was the thing with Dion, remember that, where, you know, he had the comments and, you know, Dion sort of had the rebuttal, and stuff just resonated and lingered with Nick. It had carry, I guess you could say, unlike one of my tee shots. But if you think about it in terms of Kalen, I don't know, maybe Kalen learned from the first year or so, because that first year he was everywhere. It seemed like every day Kalen was on a podcast, Kalen was on radio, Kalen was doing different things. He was ultra accessible. So maybe he's kind of learned in that role at Alabama. You got to be able to say no to more stuff, and keep the main thing the main thing. I think he thought probably he was doing what he was supposed to do as the head coach at Alabama. In reality, you know, guys like Saban and some others, they weren't. You didn't hear from them. You heard from them on signing day. You heard from them to open spring drills. Maybe they spoke at a coach's clinic or something, you know, the state coach, high school coaches clinic, and you got some stuff from that. But the access we have to every comment has ramped up too. And to your point, even with that taken into account, he hasn't been as widely accessible as he was certainly going into that first year.
What do you think about it's been, I think, a little bit uneven, the hiring pattern for them for assistant coaches. They haven't been, coming up in droves. It's been one here, one there. Got a new tight ends coach, which, one of the more forgotten areas of Florida is that Middleburg, Green Cove Springs area over there. This guy's from Middleburg, Florida, so he gets respect anyway. But what do you think about the offseason moves to replace some of the people that left on the coaching staff?
Yeah, you like sort of the backgrounds of these guys. We talked about Adrian Clem before coming in as the offensive line coach. Really, the best you can do is sort of, okay, where does this guy come from? And with Clem, you like the association with Tomlin, you like the association with Belichick, you like the association with Lanning. Richard Owens, there's some familiarity there with him and Brian Ellis, now the quarterback's coach at Alabama. So it all goes back to that typically. Usually there's some semblance of that in a coaching staff. But I think with Owens, I like his offensive line background to go along with that. He was, as a player, a really good tight end. And then he's got that ability to connect the tight end, I think maybe a little bit better than some other folks would have had to the offensive line. Because as we've talked about, when I say that, I'm talking about the run game.
Right. Yeah.
And ramping that up. So what you hope, I think, as much as anything, is that partnership of Adrian Clem and Richard Owens shows up in the run game to go along with the steps the backs obviously need to take as well.
Travis, Barry and I have been participating in a little exercise we call the starting five. And we're taking all 16 SEC football programs and looking at their first 5 games of the season. And looking at Alabama's first 5 games, do you see them losing any of those?
They better not. That's probably the best way I know to answer that. I mean, they're really going into year 3 with Kalen. There doesn't need to be another Florida State type of situation when you look at those games. No, I mean, when you look at East Carolina at Kentucky, I mean, that's a little bit of a wild card with Will Stein going in there as the new head coach. Florida State at home, South Carolina at home. Which Lenore Sellers, which Carolina are you going to get? Mm-hmm. The scary thing about that is that Shane Beamer, in years where it feels like he's really getting heated up, that's where he's had his most success.
Yeah.
It's when the expectations are high, when things don't tend to go well for him in Carolina, it seems like. So, yeah, I mean, you run down that list of first 5 at Mississippi State on October the 3rd. Absolutely. The expectation will be for sure that this team will be 5-0 before it hosts Georgia on October 10th.
Yeah, because things certainly ramp up after that. Georgia at Tennessee, A&M, and then at LSU after that. But, you always think about those ones that could trip you up. Maybe a trip to Starkville the week before Georgia comes to Tuscaloosa. You mentioned Shane Beamer. I'm not expecting much out of Florida State as well, particularly with the game being in Tuscaloosa, and I'm not sure Kentucky's got enough to regroup with to be a team that can beat Alabama. But you're right. You look at those first 5, and on paper you're going, yeah, sure. They should win all 5 of those, but we all know we've seen it before. Stranger things have happened, and that does not need to happen to Kalen DeBoer with what's in front of him after that.
Yeah, there's still some residual trauma, I think, from year 1 under Kalen, where this team went on the road against subpar competition, and even to start last season with the Florida State. But, because of that, we forget that this team went 4-0 on the road in the SEC last season, really 5-0 if you include the Oklahoma game in that. So to be fair, I want to acknowledge that. But sure, those are, to your point, kind of the games that have been problematic. I don't think the losses last year, other than Florida State, were that as much. You lost to a good Oklahoma team in Tuscaloosa. You were overmatched by Georgia in Atlanta, and then Indiana, the eventual national champions, took apart the Crimson Tide out in Pasadena. So that's where it's got to start, though. I mean, you've got to not just take care of business against inferior competition. You need to handle it. And kind of goes back to what we talked about with Nate Oates and Alabama basketball. If nothing else this season, that's kind of what they've done, other than the Texas loss, I'd say, at Coleman Coliseum.
I haven't had a chance to watch it yet because you just put it up last night on Ryer on YouTube, your latest edition of Cart Golf. So if you've addressed it, I apologize. But which is not the bigger story, but the better story? Anthony Kim winning on the Live Tour, or Morikawa birdieing the final hole to win at the Pebble Beach Pro-Am?
Yeah, I mean, there were some parallels there for sure. Not to the extent personally for Colin that he's had to follow the path that Anthony Kim has put himself on over the last decade and a half. But, the impact of family, right? With Anthony Kim, it essentially sounds like saved his life. And now with Morikawa and his wife expecting their first child, that was certainly a big moment for him. And it was a great weekend. I thought it was great for Liv because it was a signature event on the PGA Tour at Pebble Beach.
Yeah.
And a lot of the buzz in the golf world, and I stayed up till 1:30 Eastern Saturday night watching every shot of Anthony Kim's win at Adelaide. It was It was impressive, no doubt about it. And just to think where he was even a couple of years ago when he came out of the wilderness and back into civilization, it felt like, it felt like you were watching, Nessie or Bigfoot, show up in real time because we hadn't seen him in so long. But it was very impressive, especially with Rom and DeChambeau in that final group. It's not like he went out and sort of under the radar posted that 63 and then kind of let the pieces fall where they may. He was in that final group doing what he did. So very impressive. I don't know if it sustains for Liv, but it was certainly the shot in the arm they could use.
Yeah, boy. No kidding. Travis, do you take suggestions for restaurant reviews?
Sure. I mean, we're always open for that.
I just was wondering about that. I just was thinking about that fabulous fish sandwich that you reviewed last week.
He's been talking about that.
Yeah,
ever since
so
he
well, you get down here and we'll go to the Palms. I mean, it's right on Sisters Creek.
I'm a big fan of a really good roast beef pull boy. There's a place in New Orleans called Mother's on Poydras that has a roast beef debris that is outstanding. I just didn't know if there's anything in Duval similar to that, but maybe if you're in the hankering for a roast beef pull boy, you could do one on that.
We did po' boy sliders at Party Girl, our shop that the wife, is the chef of. Last week, and we did a braised beef roast for about 10 hours, and then put that baby on did it slider style. And it was really popular. I'm kind of a Parkway guy when I'm in NOLA.
Yep.
I don't think you can go wrong. It's kind of like seafood restaurants down here are in New Orleans. That's the great thing about New Orleans. Whatever you want to eat, you're gonna have it. Speaking of which, I mean, we got Fat Tuesday, right?
Yeah,
so that makes me hungry.
Sure.
And we're doing a chicken and sausage jambalaya today.
Hey,
with buttermilk cornbread. So
I salute your work ethic, Travis. I really
somebody's got to be the quality control guy.
Sure.
And it's a mantle of responsibility that Travis is glad to assume.
I don't take it lightly.
That's no question.
Literally, I don't take it lightly.
Travis Reier on YouTube. A little bit more about the channel and some of the offerings that you've got, including all of the great work you do covering the Crimson Tide.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to have some SEC talk coming up on Thursday night live on the channel with Brent Beard. We'll have Second Helping. Boy, all the titles of these shows, too, seem to revolve around food. But we will have Second Helping with Brent coming up, and look forward to, talking SEC hoops. And we'll get probably, like you guys, we're going to get kind of schedule specific with teams around the Southeastern Conference, Alabama, Auburn, and the rest of the league.
Awesome. Look forward to seeing that. Always great work from our man, Travis Reier on YouTube. Check him out. So much content for you to enjoy. Hey, thanks as always, Travis. We'll talk again next week.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks very much.
Thank you. Yeah, if you have not seen the video clip about the fish camp and the sandwich and the slaw and the gumbo, impressive. I'm telling you, man, there's enough fish on that sandwich for 4 people.
And no kidding. I mean, at what point does it cease being a sandwich and start being a menu for the entire week? How many people have ever had to get a to-go box for a sandwich?
Travis made an interesting point, and I get it. It can be expensive, and it's kind of a lot of work goes into it.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've mentioned I've got a double basket deep fryer that you hook a propane tank up to.
Yeah.
And I've got it down at the beach, and I use it a lot down there. I don't use it here, obviously, but I'll enjoy cooking on it, heat that oil up. And I don't eat a ton of fried food, but I do like some fried fish. I get it at Destin Connection and take it down there.
Yeah.
But I don't change my oil regularly, so to speak.
Got to change it every 6,000 miles. That oil. Sorry.
I'm trying to think how many times I cook on it in a year, maybe 15, maybe I'd say. So I usually do it around the 4th of July. So my oil stays there, but I've never had a problem with, ooh, this tastes like what I cooked last time, or ooh, this tastes like this or that. I use the peanut oil, which is what Chick-fil-A cooks their chicken in. Yeah. So it cooks at a higher temperature. You don't have to cook it as long, but it crisps up really nicely. That golden brown that Travis was describing, that's a key. It's got to be the perfect golden brown. But I don't change it that often. Am I wrong? Is that a foul? All you cooks out there, particularly guys that have propane tank fryers,
you got to change your oil.
Am I changing? Do I need to change it more regularly? What's the story with that?
Yeah, you got to change it.
Well, I guess I got to quit talking about frying and finally get to I got fried last night, as a matter of fact. We'll talk about it when we come back.
Yeah, it's 25 minutes into our second live hour of the show. It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Marguerite's Exquisite Jewelry is Central Alabama's best-known jewelry store. Their location at 8163 Vaughn Road in Peppertree is conveniently located adjacent to Chappie's Deli. At Marguerite's, they have every jewelry item imaginable because they make it. They really make it. From rings, necklaces, bracelets, earrings, and much, much more. Marguerite's can also repair, clean, and rework any jewelry item that you want to bring back to life. Whether you're on a budget or have no budget at all, Marguerite's has all types of jewelry for everyone. Go by and see them today or call 270-0074.
Hey, where's the beer guy? Bud Light here? You get a Bud Light? Bud Light? I'm here, Bud Light. Bud Light here? Bud Light here? Bud Light here? Bud Light where? Bud Light here? Oh, Bud Light there. I missed that because of you. You did not miss that play because of me. Tough to stop talking this way? Yeah. It's actually kind of fun. Hey, I got your Bud Light. Oh, nice. Never mind. Anything for the clean, crisp taste of Bud Light. What'd I miss? I have no idea.
Why Hands? At Hands Heating and Air, you get this area's highest ranked service provider with 24-hour repair service, no overtime charges, and their same-day service guarantee. Plus, instead of other companies' 30-day repair warranty, Hands gives you a 3-year repair warranty. Hands Heating and Air is here for you 24/7, 365. And service is not just something they do, it's their way of operating, for you in mind. All of Hands employees are trained to adhere to this standard. They work hard to ensure that this standard is maintained, and they are constantly looking for new ways to better serve you. Call Hands Heating and Air today at 508-5382. That's 508-5382, or find them on the web at 834hands.com. Okay, welcome back in, everybody. About 27 minutes past the hour on this Tuesday. I hope you've enjoyed what we've had for you so far. Got a lot more to go here on the program today. Barry, I got a question during the break.
A question? What is it?
Yes, it is.
It's a interrogative statement designed to test knowledge.
Wanting to know, can you give us a Troy baseball update from the past weekend?
Yes. Troy baseball is projected to be all that, an NCAA tournament team this year. They opened up at Mercer.
Okay.
And lost the first two games of the series. A bit of a surprise, particularly how they lost that second game. They got run ruled, but then they won the third game, which was Saturday night, something like 19-1 or something. Troy baseball is on the road today at Mississippi State, which I think is number 3 in the latest poll. And if you've never seen a baseball game in Starkville, you are missing something. That's at 4 o'clock this afternoon.
What time?
4 o'clock.
4 o'clock
this afternoon, and then a 3-game home series against the Campbell Camels this weekend. I'll be gone all week, but I'll be back in time to help broadcast the Sunday game. It'll be my first baseball game of the year. So, a couple of guys that are first-team all-conference preseason, including the player of the year, an Australian first baseman for Troy named Blake Cavell, Stephen Meyer in center field, and a lot of really good transfers so far?
Barry, that question comes from my friend who had the Troy baseball cap on.
Yeah, what was the deal with that? That was out at Pebble Beach or Palm Springs,
actually. Yes. Yeah, we're warming up.
It was a Troy baseball.
Troy baseball, and we're on the putting green. I looked at it. I said, "Where did you get that hat?" And he just kind of smiled. I said, "Oh, we got to take a picture and send this to Barry. He'll think this is pretty cool with somebody sporting the Troy baseball cap out here on the West Coast."
Yeah.
And so he wanted to know about. He's a big Troy baseball guy.
Oh man, love it. Supposed to be really good this year. Didn't get off to the start they wanted, but Troy won at Mississippi State last year.
Oh wow.
They'll play Mississippi State. Yeah, it is this afternoon at 4:00 from Duty Noble Field in Starkville.
Duty Noble Field.
I don't know who Duty is. He was like a former athletic director. I remember one of the great broadcast experiences of my 40-year broadcast career was doing the Super Regional 1 year on television between Notre Dame and Mississippi State. That place was nuts. I've done a lot of games from there.
See the Notre Dame mystique? You got to experience it first.
Yeah, I've done a few Notre Dame games in my life.
Isn't that what Spalding said when he was in the swimming pool? He said, "Duty, no, yeah."
Okay. I thought you were going call Spackler, right? It's no big deal. Now, it was no big deal.
Oh, yeah.
I kept telling you over and over again that the game of the week, I said it afterwards, but I was going to say it at some point yesterday. Mm-hmm. The game of the week this week in college basketball, if you think, I'm only going to watch one game, it was the game last night. Turned out that it was the pick for the Phantoms Daily Dog, where
that's a fact. That's true.
Iowa State, they're playing at home. They're trying to get back on the beam in the Big 12. They lost a bad one, I think, to TCU, but they won. And then they're trying to get back into it. The number 6 in the country. They came in 22-3, but they were taking on the number 2 team in the country, the Houston Cougars, who were 23-2, and I mean are like bad Leroy Brown. I remember doing a game last year with Houston. They would just absolutely beat you up. They were so physical.
Oh, yeah.
And I think Iowa State was a 2.5-point dog in that game.
Iowa State was a 2.5-point favorite.
I'm sorry. Yeah. 2.5-point favorite in that. That's what I meant to say. 2.5-point favorite at home. And that caught the Phantoms fancy.
Yeah, the Cougars on the road catching 2.5 at Iowa State. Look, I checked the score this morning, saw that I lost it by 0.5 point, which could have been 500 million and a half points. It's the same matter.
That actually answered the question I was going to ask. I didn't get a chance to watch it because we had our coaches show last night.
Yeah.
But you could see a little bit of it on the big screen, on one of the screens at the sports bar we do it from.
Yep.
And I was listening to a little bit of it, on the way home, and they were geeked up about it. And I was going to ask you about that. In the second half, when Houston had a 10-point second half lead.
Yeah, how about that? Yeah.
I was going to ask you, how did that feel? Were you pretty comfortable? Turns out he didn't take a look at any of it, so he saved himself a lot.
In my mind, that was a 12.5-point lead, not a 10-point lead.
Fair.
But we didn't want to get too giddy because we've seen that happen before.
Reggie
Miller. What I had felt better if Houston, excuse me, if Houston had attempted an ill-fated 3 at the buzzer that just didn't go in, maybe. I'd have felt a lot better than if Iowa State shot one from about 22 feet that was nothing but net as the horn went off to win by 3. That would have hurt. That would have lingered.
That's one where you've got your ticket in your hand and you're like, it just slowly floats to the floor as you stay frozen in disbelief.
I would have rather had Houston just clank one off the front of the rim or something. I could have lived with that better. And I don't know how the game ended. Quite frankly, I don't want to know.
Well, There was a little 10-footer. I mean, it wasn't a 3 or something. A little 10-footer that didn't fall right at the end. That would have it wouldn't have won the game. I don't know why I took it, but it would have won the game.
I hate to sound so cold. I don't care if they won or not.
Well,
all they got to do is cover for me.
Final score in this one, and it was fantastic. I knew it would be. In Ames, Iowa, number 6 Iowa State rallies from a 10-point hole to knock off number 2 Houston, 70-67. Do the math on that one. That is a 3-point win for Iowa State, and the number was 2.5.
Does it sound selfish? Self-centered if you say, I'm glad they lost, because you know what, if they're not going to cover for me, I don't want them get beat.
I don't want anybody to be happy if I ain't happy.
Too bad. Hate it for you. Glad you got beat. If you'd have made that little 10-foot floater, maybe things would have been a little different this morning. But
you said the outcome probably would have still been the same. But it wouldn't. Anyway,
you know what, Houston? I hope your flight was delayed out of Ames and you didn't get back to Houston till about 4 this morning. That's what I hope. Or even worse, had to bus back to Houston because the plane had a mechanical.
The Phantom is the one to tell you, the first one to tell you, don't get your lip poked out.
No.
Don't get caught up in, as Lou Graham once sang for Foreigner, that was yesterday.
Yeah,
you had the world by now. You don't want to turn one loss into 2. So you better be forward thinking.
That's true. Barry, we're going to go to the Big Ten tonight.
I love it. Love it.
We're
love
going
it.
To the Big Ten tonight. This game, let me make sure.
All right.
Make sure I got the television network correct, so everybody can watch this game tonight. I know they're going to be glued to their set to check it out.
Wait a minute. You got women's short form figure skating tonight.
Not interested. This game is at 7:30 on FS1 from Value City Arena.
If you don't know,
Value City.
Value City is the name of a grocery store in and around the Columbus, Ohio area. If that gives you any insight into what the Phantom is about.
It's not a town in Ohio named Value City, Ohio.
No.
All right.
No.
So the number 24 Badgers of Wisconsin are rolling into Columbus tonight.
Taking on Ohio State, 7:30 FS1. Yeah. Wisconsin's 18-7. Pretty good.
Yeah, they are. They sure are.
Ohio State is 16-9.
Okay.
And Wisconsin on the road is a slight favorite.
Yeah. Should they be a bigger favorite? Wisconsin beat Ohio State by 10 up in Madtown about a month ago.
Yeah, and there is no place called Madtown either.
No,
there's no Value City. What number are you looking at here? It's a slight.
Yeah, we got Ohio State catching 1.5 at home tonight. Mm-hmm. Could this be an upset for the Buckeyes? We could see that.
I could too.
We could certainly see them winning the game outright tonight against a Wisconsin team. Of course, now Ohio State kind of coming off a tough loss to Virginia at home, but lose by 4 in their last outing. So they've got their, they're stinging a little bit, wanting to get it right against this Wisconsin team ranked in the top 25.
Ohio
does
State
look like
2-3 in their last 5.
Yeah, it looks like the number should be a little bit bigger here, but they're begging you to take Wisconsin. We're not falling for that trap. We're taking the home team plus the 1.5. Ohio State is the play for the Phantoms daily dog.
Let's take a break.
When we come back,
our starting
five.
That's next.
It's the Georgia Bulldogs today.
Oh, traditionally, they do not like to really test themselves in non-conference play. We'll see. We'll inspect it when Longshore McKnight rolls on in association with Yellowhammer News presented by Bud Light.
The Destin Connection Seafood Market at 3750 Norman Bridge Road in Montgomery has the freshest seafood direct from the Gulf of America. I'm talking red snapper and grouper, all sizes of Gulf shrimp, jumbo lump crab meat and crab claws, Louisiana Bay oysters, and New Bedford scallops. They are a full-service seafood market and kitchen serving po' boys, dinners, and sandwiches. You know, many well-known restaurants in the river region purchase their seafood from the Destin Connection because they know it's the absolute best. Call ahead and your order will be ready for pickup. The Destin Connection Seafood Market, 3750 Norman Bridge Road. Call 288-4272. That's 288-4272.
It doesn't matter if you're running drills at the park, playing pickup on a Saturday, or sinking the final putt. When you compete with your friends with Michelob Ultra on the line, competition isn't that friendly. The trash talk, next level. And the stakes, oh, those are crystal clear. With only 95 calories and superior smooth taste, it's the ultimate trophy. Superior is worth playing for. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2025, Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Ram Truck Month is here at Stivers, Alabama's #1 volume CDJR dealer. New Rams, 19 grand off or 0% for 6 years. And heavy duties, 14 grand off. Backed by Ram's 10-year, 100,000-mile limited warranty. Only at Stivers Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. The President's Day sales event is on at Stivers, Alabama's #1 volume CDJR dealer. Grand Cherokees under 27 grand or up to 15 grand off. Wranglers, 14 grand off. And Gladiators, 16 grand off. Only at Stivers Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
All right, welcome back in, everybody. So glad you are with us here today. Quickly, before we do, Barry, get to the starting five, we're talking about the Georgia Bulldogs here today. You talking about service. I texted our man Kenny at River Region Straw yesterday. I said, hey, Kenny, I know we're getting kind of toward the end of winter. We're not so many cold days ahead. A few, don't get me wrong. I said, do you have any firewood left over that I could season at my home getting ready for next fall? He said, oh yeah, sure. Got some left. No doubt about it. Just got a text from him. They're on the way. They're about to deliver it.
Wait.
Thinking, whoa, unbelievable.
A lot of people don't know Kenny's last name. He's Kenny from River Region Straw.
Kenny from River Region Straw.
Yeah. I cannot confirm, but I think Service is his middle name.
No doubt. I mean, unbelievable. I'm just thinking maybe, I don't know, into this week, next week. Nope.
When he gets around to it or something. Nope, they're on it.
Everybody gets VIP service from our friends at River Region Straw, whether it's their premium long needle pine straw for your landscaping needs, for your home, your business, your golf course. I mean, no order is too small or too large. They can handle everything up to an 18-wheeler load. Multiple 18-wheeler loads.
No.
And, of course, that seasoned firewood to keep you warm during the winter months.
And you say there are a few more cold days still.
Oh, ain't no doubt.
Right?
You know there's going to be. You better believe it.
All right.
Barry, it's kind of like, future schedules. I like to plan for the future with my firewood, too. So I like to have it here. I like to have it seasoned at my own house, ready to go.
Now,
and that's awesome. 669-5959. That's 669-5959. Call or text Kenny today.
Last year, the Georgia Bulldogs were on a terrific roll.
True.
They got upset early in the year at Sanford Stadium. Alabama goes in and beats them September 27th by 3 points in Athens, and they didn't lose afterwards. They beat Alabama in the rematch for the SEC championship, beat them pretty bad, beat them by 3 touchdowns.
Embarrassing.
That earns them an SEC championship. It earns them a first-round bye into the college football playoff. They played Ole Miss in New Orleans in the Sugar Bowl, and Ole Miss, they threw a lob pass to this guy on a big play, and they ended up getting the win 39-34. Georgia ends last year 12-2 as SEC champions, and they lose some people, but they got a lot of people back, John.
Yeah, Barry, it's interesting. I was trying to remember Georgia in the playoff this year. And it's like, what happened to Georgia?
That was a great game.
It was a really good game.
Trinidad Chambliss balled out in that game. We mentioned this. The thing that really intrigues me about this season, this upcoming season's Georgia schedule, look at it. I think it's week 7 after
open date.
After the open date, it's Florida, Georgia.
Yep.
The largest outdoor cocktail party in the world. But this year, it ain't going to be outdoors.
No, it isn't.
It's not going to be in Jacksonville. This year, it's going to be at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta while they continue to tweak
on Halloween.
Jacksonville Stadium. Yeah, also known as Nick Saban's birthday.
Yeah.
But that's late. We're not interested in that yet. We're
27, I believe the game is in Tampa.
Yeah, they're getting. I never knew, and John and I have both agreed on this, which is rare. And I grew up, huge Gator fan. I never could figure out what Georgia was cool with that. I never could. Jacksonville's about 70 miles away.
Agree.
We're not interested in that. That's later on. On. That'll take care of itself. What we're interested in is the starting 5.
And Barry, later on, we will get into the full schedule. And boy, if Georgia's, I think you know my feeling about their schedule.
Again, this is a little different. I'm glad we're learning it this year this way because it's the first year of the 9-game SEC schedule, which has a different look for everybody. It means you've got 3 non-conference games. And we mentioned before the break that Georgia never habitually really tests themselves non-conference, and that plays out in this one too.
Yeah.
They open up with Tennessee State. I don't think they're coached by Eddie George anymore. Then they've got the Hilltoppers of Western Kentucky. And then at the very end of the year, they got Georgia Tech in Athens. So,
if I'm a Georgia fan, I'm really not thinking I'm going to go to a game till September 26th when Oklahoma comes to town because Tennessee State, Western Kentucky, both in Athens, first 2 weeks of the year, they go to Fayetteville week 3, which, you think about that. Doesn't seem like those two teams play very often. Vanderbilt in week 4, and then they're in Tuscaloosa.
Whoa. You skipped by Oklahoma.
By Oklahoma. Oklahoma's the first conference game at home.
That's September 26th. That's week
Vanderbilt
4. Yes,
home.
that's week
their
5.
First 5.
Okay. Yeah. Week 6, it's Alabama in Tuscaloosa, but we're not dealing with that.
No.
We're dealing with the starting 5.
I mean, maybe Oklahoma's their toughest opponent in the first 5.
Oklahoma made the college football playoff last year.
Well, they did for the first half of that game. The second half, not so much. But it was a 60-minute game.
What do we think? Tennessee State, Western Kentucky, Arkansas on the road, Oklahoma, and Vanderbilt. What will Georgia's record be heading into Tuscaloosa on October the 10th?
Barry, I'm believing Georgia's record heading into the Alabama game in week 6 will be the same record as Alabama's will be.
Ooh, 5-0.
Does that have Saturday night prime time with Herbie and Holly Rowe and
John? That is on Chris Fowler. That is on a gigantic dry erase whiteboard in the ABC/ESPN, not the studios, but in the upper management conference room.
Yeah.
Right there. There's not on that whiteboard.
No.
There's maybe 2 or 3 games. That's one of them.
Well, Barry, what's difficult? There again, I know we're only looking at the starting 5.
Right.
But what's difficult is who Georgia plays the next week. This could be a look-ahead game for the Bulldogs, Barry, because they've got the South's oldest continuous football rivalry the week after the Alabama game.
It's the oldest continuous rivalry in the Deep South.
Yeah.
Against an Auburn team that we've already talked about. We go through this alphabetically.
Yeah.
We've already talked about, and I said, I actually don't think Auburn's starting 5 games, the record is going to be as good as John says Auburn's record is going to be good in the first 5. So, maybe Auburn is, holding it in the background and everything. keeping everything on the down low, trying to spring something on Georgia. But Georgia 5-0, John and I agree on this one. Georgia's, I mean, Kirby is all that. Tomorrow.
But Barry, listen, look at this. They're going to know we don't want to look ahead. But I think it's only fair to say, if Georgia's got Auburn looking at them, the Deep South's oldest continuous football rivalry.
Oldest continuous rivalry in the Deep South.
I think it's only fair to say, after Georgia comes to Tuscaloosa, then Alabama faces their biggest rival on the road the next week.
They've got the classic look ahead. They're 5-0.
Yeah.
They dispatch Alabama by 3 touchdowns again. They're the whole week leading into the Auburn game. They're all barking like dogs and sick 'em and all that stuff. Then Auburn's laying in wait. Tomorrow, Will Stein, not him, Will Stein, the head coach of the Kentucky Wildcats.
Yeah.
Rudy Stein.
I thought it was Silverback. Who's he coach for? Oh, Arkansas.
Yeah. Rudy Stein. I've got it in my head. Will Stein.
Yep.
Not Rudy Stein. Rudy wasn't the one who they wanted to take a pitch in the ribs.
Correct.
Right? Okay.
He was the pitcher.
Bad news Bears.
Yes.
All right. So Kentucky tomorrow, LSU on Thursday, Mississippi State on Friday in our starting 5.
Or Ole Miss, because I guess it's technically Mississippi.
Oh, yeah. I got it as Ole Miss. So we'll do that.
So
when we come back.
So that is our starting 5 for today. The Georgia Bulldogs, we both think they'll be 5-0 out of the gate.
Coming up, it's our Gurn Jr. Victoryland 777 topic wheel. It is next. It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Love is in the air, and so is your chance to win during Victoryland Casino's BMW and 25K giveaway. Drive away in a brand new BMW or win your share of $25,000 in free play. The more you visit, the more chances you have to win. Stop by the Players Club and fall in love with this month's exciting free play promotions. There's more ways to win at Victoryland Casino, where you can be a winner too. Located off I-85 exit 22 in Shorter, Alabama. Drawings February 27th and 28th. Must be 21 or older. Must be present to win.
Located just 8 miles north of Alabama's state capital, Capitol Hill features 3 18-hole championship courses. With more than 1,500 acres of golf and nature, the pure magnitude of this facility is amazing and allows each course to be drastically different from the others. Capitol Hill also features an innovative 360-degree driving range 400 yards in diameter. Capitol Hill offers a fully stocked pro shop with the latest equipment and apparel. Great food and beverages in the clubhouse can be enjoyed both before and after your round. Get your group together and hit the trail. Go to rtjgolf.com/Capitol Hill for tee times and more information. All right, welcome back in, everybody. Glad you're with us. Couple of minutes, about 8 minutes or so to the top of the hour. What do you say we spin the Gurn Jr. Victoryland 777 topic wheel?
It's all brought to you by Quincy's 777 Casino, exit 22, I-85 in Shorter, Alabama. Looking sideways.
Yeah. Peripheral vision. What do we got here?
Wait a minute. When Chris got her up, let's see. He got a big win like last week or the week before.
Is he butt shot?
Why is he aiming left? Feet open, hip slightly open.
He must hit a cut.
I mean, he must hit a terrific cut.
Yeah, see, and I get it. I've never seen that. I line up right of the target and kind of pull it a little bit.
Yeah.
Always have since I was a kid. So when people stand behind me, they go, man, look, where's he aimed? I hear that from time to time because I aim slightly right of the target.
Right.
But it's worked for me. So obviously aiming left works for him.
There's a lot of different ways to get the ball in the cup.
Oh.
The belly putter.
You ever seen Jim
take
a swing at it?
The cross-handed grip, but got her up. He lines up way left.
Yeah.
Hey,
you got to do you. You don't try to go out there and try to imitate Tiger. You got to do you.
That's right. There's only one
fan of that.
Yeah,
don't let your buddies who are snickering in the background going, oh, look at this guy. Look where he's aimed.
Yeah, let them see how they're snickering whenever they got to rummage around. Where's my wallet?
When you walk up to the green, you went, folks, is that good?
Yes.
Can I pick that one up?
And when you walk up to the tee and say, fellas, am I away again? All right. Okay. Just checking.
Okay. Yeah. Y'all are 3 down. What do you want to do? You pressing again? Good. Great.
Back at it.
Let's do it. Let's see what we got here.
All right.
Another topic that we don't know what's coming up. Whoa. I know nothing about this topic.
Yeah. Let's see. It looks like a big black screen.
Oh, this is the Beatles' Black Album.
Oh,
is that the White Album?
Let's see. So we lost the wheel.
What?
But man, that was a good one.
That was a good one.
That was.
Let's see what the wheel has. Maybe the wheel will pop back up on us.
Yeah, we'll see. We may have.
We've got going on.
We may have lost.
Yeah.
The wheel.
And that can happen.
Yes. But we're always ready.
Here it comes. Wait a minute. Here we go.
Oh, it was spinning incognito.
It was. R.I.P.
Palmerston. Palmerston.
Who is this?
Is that somebody's butler?
Wait a minute.
Former dies in Bermuda.
How do you die in Bermuda?
Well, that's what happened to Sangways, right? Strangways and Dr. No.
No, that was in Jamaica.
Where's my head?
Yeah.
Anyway, there was a rescue cat. This is British, the British Foreign Office. His name is Palmerston. If you don't, I mean, if you're Christian, you don't believe, obviously, in reincarnation. But if you did, you want to come back as that cat.
Man.
That cat lived his whole life in Bermuda.
Beautiful place.
Lived at the British Foreign Office.
Yes.
Probably had, roaming privileges outside to check out the local cat population, if he was feeling lonely or something. Passes away at an old age in Bermuda.
Beautiful place. I've been to Bermuda several times, hadn't been in a long time. Very British. Very, very British.
Yeah, they drive on the left side, right?
Yeah, unlike, the Bahamas and stuff like that. I mean, Bermuda is still very British.
Okay.
All right. Let's see what we got. 4 more to go.
Been to Puerto Rico. That's about it.
Yeah, that's U.S. territory.
Tag, you're it. Yeah,
Tag,
Bad Bunny's from Puerto Rico. He is American. The NFL franchise tag.
Jordan Rogers lives in Puerto Rico.
The NFL franchise tag opens today. That basically is a negotiating thing. You want your guy to stay there. So, you have several different times.
All right, so can we get rid of Derek Carr? We've got our quarterback, and Tyler Shook. He's our guy.
Yeah, once you give somebody the exclusive franchise tag, meaning that nobody else gets to talk with him while he's in his early free agency, we'll be the first one to talk with him. Or can you just remove your tag? Like, I know 3 years ago we thought Derek Carr was the future of the Saints on offense. Now you guys can have him. You go ahead and take him. Wait a minute, they can't. We still have to pay him.
Oh, yeah. Somebody please take that guy. All right, let's see what else we got. 3 more to go. Blue, yellow, and red.
Going for gold. Slamma jamma.
Okay. That's a drink in Alabama, isn't it?
Feeling fat.
Yeah, that's after a night of Mexican food.
Well, that's after that 3 filet fish sandwich, Travis.
Yeah, boy.
Oh, here we go. Today is Fat Tuesday. That's right. It's Mardi Gras. Krispy Kreme giving away free donuts today for Fat Tuesday. There's a catch, though.
Okay.
But to get the free donut, you'll need to wear beads.
Sure you will. Come on. Yeah.
I think I've got some Mardi Gras beads somewhere. Bring your celebration spirit, your shiniest beads to a Krispy Kreme shop near you for 1 free original glazed donut per guest.
Barry, I saw where I think it was Walmart was selling King's cakes for $1. Regular price, they were like $15. But they got to get rid of these King cakes, and they're $1 a day.
People don't buy king cakes. Hey, it's the middle of August. Let me get a king cake. You only buy it one time, and this is it. They got to get rid of their stock.
You get them for $1 today, I saw.
All right. Here we go.
What else we got? 2 more spins to go.
A little bit behind schedule because we went incognito for
we did
a couple of seconds. This is Slamma Jamma? Is this like the Houston Cougars with
Jamma,
Billy Anders and Clyde Drexler?
They didn't slam it enough last night for me.
This guy, Tice Armstrong, Baylor. What? This was on Friday night. Tice Armstrong, 3 grand slams in the game.
Wait a minute.
Number 1, this is against New Mexico State.
I mean,
all right, number 1, first time up, bases loaded, hits it out. Second time up, bases loaded, hits it out. Third time up, bases loaded. I'm the manager of New Mexico State. I don't care. I'm walking that guy. I ain't
Do you think, Barry, when he walked up,
give him a chance to hit a third?
I've always wondered that as a batter. I never had that opportunity. But do you think they walk up when they see the bases loaded and go, man, this would really be neat if I could hit a grand slam?
Yeah. I've never seen it happen before in anything.
That's
I once
amazing.
saw Fernando Tatis hit 2 grand slams in an inning off of Chan-Ho Park.
Wow.
And that's never
Is that
been done
called
before.
a hat trick?
It's there. I don't know what they call it because nobody's ever done it before.
Yeah.
Who in the world pitches to that guy when he's already got 2 grand slams?
Well, I mean, I don't want to say anything, Barry, but I don't think New Mexico State's that good. Just saying.
That's the Cam Petway angle right there. Yeah, I know he did something unbelievable, but let's downgrade it for some
New Mexico State, for Pete's sake.
Going for gold.
Going for gold. Okay.
We'll wrap
what do we
it
got
up
here? Go for gold.
You got big stuff going on February all month long at Victoryland,
nice.
777 time.
You better believe it.
Team USA, these are the girls.
Oh, wow. Okay.
We beat the Swedish girls.
Good.
Pretty bad. And now we play Canada. Is that right? What does it say?
Do women fight
gold
in
medal
hockey
match.
as much as men?
They don't. They're not as physical, but they're a little bit. They're very skilled. I like watching them quite a bit. Canada, that match, that match before America won that 5-0 in
Beautiful.
that one. The U.S. Their women's hockey is pretty good. They've outscored their opponents 31-1. They play Canada. I want to say it's this morning. Is it tomorrow? Looking for the
we'll
start time. I saw it very briefly, but
we'll check and see.
Anyway, big. Who is the? Do they have the female equivalent of the Hanson brothers that play for the Americans? I'd like to see that. I knew a girl one time who was a bouncer.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Her bouncer name was Chick Norris. Loved it.
Chick Norris. Okay, tomorrow, our man CJ Duncan from Yellowhammer News will join us. We'll also touch base with Josh Harris, the Moneyline Magician, where our starting 5 will feature the Kentucky Wildcats tomorrow. And we'll, of course, preview some SEC we'll recap tonight's SEC basketball as well as a Big Ten matchup. Well, maybe we will, maybe we won't.
Maybe we'll just touch on it. I will be in Monroe, Louisiana tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, on
the show.
That's right.
Our appreciation goes out to Travis Ryer on YouTube, Brian Matthews, AuburnSports.com, our producer, Gurn Jr. It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.